If you're a Star Wars fan, then stick around, because you're about to discover 13 amazing facts about Star Wars Episode 4: A New Hope. The Death Star wasn't originally planned to be in A New Hope. The entire first trilogy was all conceived by George Lucas over a 2-year period, but he was intending to release the entire story in a serialized format like old films of the 1930s. However, he soon realized that as a serialized franchise, his story would take way too long to fully produce. So instead, he split up his space opera into 3 large chunks, and as a result, the Death Star wasn't going to appear until Return of the Jedi. But Lucas needed a climax for A New Hope, so he brought the Death Star into play 2 films earlier. Star Wars was going to have a really long title. At one point, the movie was going to be called Adventures of the Star Killer as taken from the Journal of the Whills, Saga 1, The Star Wars. Aren't we glad that was changed? It is reported that R2-D2 was initially going to speak English with C-3PO, and he was also going to swear like a sailor, but his dialogue was removed in post-production and replaced with his iconic beeps, which were created by using synthesized infant coos performed by the sound designer Ben Burtt. The C-3PO suit was one of the most dangerous in the movie. The role of C-3PO required Anthony Daniels to wear a 50-pound costume made out of aluminum, steel, fiberglass, rubber, and plastic. To make matters worse, there were wheels inside the knees, and if Daniels moved more than 30 or 40 degrees, they'd hit his kneecaps. On top of all this, the fiberglass in one leg shattered and sent shards into the actor's foot. Harrison Ford wasn't originally going to play Han Solo. George Lucas previously worked with Ford on American Graffiti, but Lucas wanted to hire unknown actors, so Harrison Ford wasn't allowed to audition, but the director used him to read with the other actors during screen tests. Other now famous actors who reportedly auditioned for Han Solo were Kurt Russell, Christopher Walken, and Robert Englund, but it soon became clear to George Lucas that Harrison Ford was the Solo he was looking for. Contrary to popular belief, the Freddy Krueger star Robert Englund didn't really help Mark Hamill get his role in Star Wars. There's a popular urban legend out there that Mark Hamill was sleeping on Robert Englund's couch when the future Freddy Krueger actor auditioned for Han Solo and failed, and then came home to tell Hamill to go audition to play Luke. But Mark Hamill has gone on record to say that this story has been overblown over the years, and the truth is that Englund did tell him about the opportunity, but Hamill's agent had already set him up for the audition, and the actor had his own place at the time and was not sleeping on Robert Englund's couch. Mark Hamill damaged his eye while filming. He was so committed to his performance of being strangled by the monster that he broke a blood vessel in his eye that created a red dot on his eyeball, and all shots filmed afterward had to be changed to show his good eye. No stunt doubles were used when Luke and Leia swing to safety. Carrie Fisher and Mark Hamill performed that stunt themselves and shot it in just one take. Darth Vader had very little screen time despite being one of the main characters. Vader is one of the greatest movie villains of all time, but yet in A New Hope, he's only on screen for about 12 minutes. The movie's total runtime is 125 minutes, so 12 minutes seems more like a bit part rather than a main villain. With so little screen time, it only took James Earl Jones 1 2-hour session to record all of Vader's lines. Obi-Wan Kenobi wasn't originally going to die, but George Lucas realized that if the Jedi Master lived, he wouldn't know what to do with him, and he also thought Luke wouldn't be able to become a great leader if his mentor was still around. Alec Guinness didn't like the idea at first, but Lucas was eventually able to convince him that it was the best choice for the trilogy's overarching story. Harrison Ford fumbled some of his lines on purpose. There is a scene when Han is trying to speak with the Galactic Empire workers on the intercom, and Harrison Ford intentionally didn't memorize his lines, so his performance would sound more spontaneous. The X-Wing hangar was a lot smaller than it looks. The film's small budget only allowed them to build 2 ships for the hangar, so to make the hangar look bigger than it really was, they turned off most of the lights to hide the soundstage walls, and moved their 2 ships to be in the background whenever they changed camera angles. If you've ever wondered how some of the iconic Star Wars sounds were created, now you're about to find out. Darth Vader's breathing was recorded by sticking a microphone inside a scuba tank regulator. The lightsaber sounds were made by blending the hum of a 35mm film projector and passing a broken microphone cable near an old TV set. The sound of a screeching TIE Fighter engine was created by combining an elephant's bellow and a car driving on wet pavement. Chewbacca's growl is a blend of a bear, lion, walrus, and a badger. And the sound of Vader's force choke was made by crushing walnut shells inside a grapefruit rind. Is Episode 4 your favorite movie in the franchise? Let me know in the comments below. To see more facts about other GDPG-13 movies, click a video on the screen. And make sure to subscribe and click the bell to always be notified when I post a new video so you can learn more fun facts about your favorite films.